Now we're going to move on to part 2 of the speaking test. Here you must do a task individually. You'll be given 2 photos which you have to describe. You'll also be given a question related to the pictures, which you must talk about for a minute. The examiner will stop you after about a minute. When your partner is speaking about his or her photos, you listen carefully. You'll be asked a question related to their pictures when they're finished. You must answer this second question for about 20 to 30 seconds. Here's an example task. Imagine you're given these pictures and this question. Remember, you have to talk about the question for about a minute. After that minute, your partner answers another question, which isn't written down, for about 30 seconds. What you have to do in order to do a good job in part 2 of the speaking exam is answer the question, organize your ideas clearly, compare the photos, speculate. What many candidates do wrong in this part is they describe the photos in depth. You only have 1 minute, so you don't have time to describe the photos fully. What you should do is briefly say what you can see in each photo, and then answer the question. That description shouldn't take more than 15 to 20 seconds. Let's see an example answer to that task we saw before. Well, in this first picture, I can see a man in his vegetable garden. He seems to be working, perhaps planting something, or picking some fruit and vegetables, while the second photo shows people relaxing in what I think is a city park. With regard to the question, I think the people are having a great time, switching off after work, or maybe enjoying the nice weather on holiday. There's also a historical building in the distance, so maybe they're tourists visiting the city. In contrast, I think the man is probably enjoying being alone, the solitude of working on his own, with just the company of his plants and maybe some insects. He seems really relaxed too. If you find you've finished answering the question, you've compared the photos, and you still have time, then give your opinion. So if you could answer what you would enjoy. For example, personally, I'd prefer to spend time in the second garden, as it seems really relaxing, but also quite fun. Great, so I only described the photo for about 15 to 20 seconds. The majority of my task was dedicated to answering the question. I've also organized the task clearly, using a range of expressions to organize my ideas. It's a really good idea to use this expression, with regard to the question, to introduce your answer. Finally, I have speculated. Do I know these people? No. So, in order to answer the question, what are the people enjoying about spending time in these gardens, I must use expressions such as I think, seems to be, perhaps, maybe. To sum up, in part 2 of the speaking test, make sure you speak for the full minute, only describe your photos briefly, compare the pictures using words like while, in contrast, and whereas, speculate using expressions like I think, perhaps, maybe, and seems to be. And if you still have time at the end, give your opinion, saying in which situation you would prefer to be. Always give your reasons. Listen carefully when your partner speaks, as you'll be asked a question on their topic afterwards.